What it could be eternity, or just a week. But yeah, our chemistry is off the chain. It's perfect now, but will it change? This ain't a yes, this ain't a no. Just do your thing, we'll see how we go. Oh, rush it, don't succeed.
Good morning. How are you? Welcome to the Portal Podcast. I'm Bob Colbert, your host on the Portal Podcast. Got my McDonald's coffee for today, so I'm good to go. I trust everyone is having a good Saturday morning. A lot of things going on. Don't know if you've been catching all of the live court sessions on the Trump thing, Bonnie Willis, in Georgia, and other. Wow, I've been trying to catch as much as I could. It's very interesting. I'm glad that I didn't become a lawyer, for sure. Well, today we're on the 15th episode of the Roman Forum. This is a 20-part series, so we're fast approaching toward the end of this series. Today we will be talking about the Basilica of Maxentius. Let me go ahead and put a picture up so that we know what we're talking about. So this is the Basilica of Maxentius, and if you remember the Sketchfab model earlier, I think it was episode 4. You can go back and look at that. They had a stage in here. They have concerts in this building now. So there's like a stage, and they'll have concert, or maybe even show movies or whatever in there. So yeah, when I was trying to research this building, this appears to be half of the building. It's almost like it's been sliced in half, and I'll kind of show that in a little bit. But let's go ahead and go to the video so that we know what we're talking about, and I'll catch you on the other side.
The Basilica of Maxentius and Constantine, or in Italian, Basilica di Maxenzio, sometimes known as the Basilica Nova, meaning New Basilica, or Basilica of Maxentius, is an ancient building in the Roman Forum in Rome, Italy. It was the largest building in the Forum. Construction began in the northern side of the Forum under the Emperor Maxentius in 308, and was completed in 312 by Constantine I after his defeat of Maxentius at the Battle of the Milvian Bridge. The building rose close to the Temple of Peace, at that time probably neglected, and the Temple of Venus in Rome, whose reconstruction was part of Maxentius' interventions. The building consisted of a central nave covered by 3 groined vaults suspended 39 meters above the floor on 4 large piers, ending in an apse at the western end containing a colossal statue of Constantine. The lateral forces of the groined vaults.
All right. I'll leave this image up so that you have a visual. If you noticed in the video, it looked like, I think it was in this one, it looked like they had a movie screen in there or a stage or something. All right. And this is all that remains of the Basilica of Maxentius and Constantine. Yeah, it's the building's northern aisle is all that remains. And so we'll go ahead and start our normal reading a little bit on this building. So, all right, the Basilica of Maxentius and Constantine in Italian is the Basilica di Maxenio, sometimes known as the Basilica Nova, meaning new basilica, or Basilica of Maxentius. It's an ancient building in the Roman Forum, Rome, Italy, of course. It was the largest building in the Forum and the last Roman basilica built in the city. Some history on this building. In ancient Rome, a basilica was a rectangular building with a large central open space, often a raised apse at the far end from the entrance. Basilicas usually served a variety of functions, including a combination of courthouse, council chambers, meeting halls, and there could also be numerous statues of the gods displayed in niche set into the walls. Under the Constantine and his successors, this type of building was chosen as the basis for the design of the larger places of Christian worship. Presumably, as the basilica form had fewer pagan associations than those of the designs of traditional Greco-Roman temples, and allowed large congregations to round about. As a result of the building programs of the Christian Roman emperors, the term basilica later became largely synonymous with a large church or cathedral. Construction began on the northern side of the Forum under the Emperor Maxentius in 308 AD and was completed in 312 AD by Constantine I, his successor. After his defeat of Maxentius at the Battle of Milvian Bridge, the building rose on the northern side of the Via Sacra road, close to the Temple of Peace, at that time probably neglected, and the Temple of Venus in Rome. Peace reconstruction was part of Maxentius' interventions. During the 6th century, the building was also called Templum Romae. The architecture, the color of the building before it was destroyed was typically white. It was white. The basilica stood on a 100 by 65 meter or 328 feet by 213 feet concrete and rectangular platform. The thickness of the platform is not usually known or communicated. The central nave was 80 meters, 260 feet long, 25 meters or 82 feet wide, 35 meters or 115 feet high, with side aisles 16 meters or 52 feet wide and 24.5 meters, 80 feet high. 8 massive marble columns, 14.5 meters or 48 feet high, 5.4 meters, 18 foot in circumference, stood at the corners of the nave. I don't know if that's what that is right there. Could be. On the far left side of that image. They were all destroyed except one that was removed by Paul V in 1613 to the Santa Maria Maggiore, where it still stands today. The building consisted of a central nave covered by 3 groin vaults, suspended 39 meters or 128 foot above the floor on 4 large piers, ending in an apse at the western end containing a colossal statue, Constantine, remnants of which are now in a courtyard, Palazzo de Conservatoria of the Musi Capitolina. Sorry about that. I'm not Italian. The latter forces of the groin vaults were held by flecking aisles measuring 23 by 17 meters, or 75 feet by 56 feet. The aisles generally spanned by three similar circle barrel vaults perpendicular to the nave, and narrow arcaves ran parallel to the nave beneath the barrel vaults. The nave itself measured 25 by 80 meters, 82 feet by 262 feet, creating a 2,000 square meter or 22,000 square foot flooring space. Like the great imperial baths, the basilica made use of vast interior space with its emotional effect, running the length of the eastern face of the building and was projecting arcade. On the south face was projecting pro-style porch with the four columns, or tetrastyle. The south and central sections were probably destroyed in the earthquake in 847. In 1349 year, the vault of the nave collapsed in another earthquake. The only one of the 8 20-meter, 66-foot high columns that survived the earthquake was brought by Pope Paul V to Piazza Santa Maria Maggiore in 1614. All that remains of the basilica today is just its north aisle and with its 3 concrete barrel vaults. The ceilings of the barrel vaults show advanced weight-saving structural skill with octagonal ceiling coffers. On the outside wall of the basilica, facing onto the Via dei Fori Imperelia Road, are contemporary maps showing the various stages of the rise of the Roman Empire, which were added during the fascist regime of Benito Mussolini. A map depicting Mussolini's new Roman Empire was removed from the wall after the war. The wrestling events were held here during the 1960 Summer Olympic Games. Cool. Yeah, a little bit on the engineering. I'm an engineer. The Basilica Maxentius took aspects from Roman baths, as well as typical Roman basilicas. At that time, it used the most advanced engineering techniques known, including innovations taken from the markets of Trajan and the baths of Diocletian. Similar to the basilicas at the time, such as Basilica Olpia, the Basilica Maxentius featured a huge open space in the central nave. However, instead of having columns supporting ceiling like other basilicas, it was built using arches, a much more common appearance in Roman baths than basilicas. Another difference from traditional basilicas is the roof of the structure, where the former were built with a flat roof. The Basilica Maxentius featured a folded roof, decreasing the overall weight of the structure, decreasing the horizontal forces exerted on the outer arches. Okay, let's see. All right, I think that'll do it on the reading. Now, a little bit about the Emperor Maxentius. We'll just cover a little bit. Okay, his name was Emperor Marcus Aurelius Valerius Maxentius, 283 to 28 October 312. That was his reign, I guess. In 283 to 312, October 28. He was a Roman emperor who reigned from 306 until his death in 312. Despite ruling in Italy and North Africa and having the recognition of the Senate in Rome, he was not recognized as a legitimate emperor by his fellow emperors. He was the son of a former emperor, Maximian, and the son-in-law of Emperor Galerius. The latter part of his reign was preoccupied with civil war, allying with Maximianus against Licinius and Constantine. The latter defeated him at the Battle of the Milvian Bridge in 312, where Maxentius, with his army in flight, purportedly perished by drowning in the Tiber River. Maxentius was the last emperor to permanently reside in the city of Rome. He attempted to embellish, restore, and improve the ancient capital, carrying out important building works, including the Temple of the Divine Romulus, dedicated to his deceased son, the Basilica of Maxentius, which was completed by Constantine, the Villa, and the Circus of Maxentius. Okay. I think that'll do it on the reading. Okay, so let me go to the sketchfile model. Hopefully I can do that. One moment. So we're going to hide that, and we're going to show the sketch file. Okay, let me put the sketch file, and I'm going to shrink it much smaller so we can kind of get a picture. All right. Ugh, still not small enough. I'll do my best. All right, there you go. Now you can see it. So what I'm thinking, if you take this building and split it in half, where you can just see the roof there, I think that is what's left in the Forum today. This front part's not there anymore, but this is kind of what it would look like in the heyday. And then on the inside, I got some pictures. It would have looked similar to this, probably like this. So it had that large open space, and you had columns, but then you had arches here supporting the structure and stuff. So very ornate, beautiful. Oops. Is that the only one? Hold up. Okay. Trying to get it small. This is tough. Got a blockage here. See, I'm trying to hit this arrow right there. It's just not working. I got a large, I'm going to have to raise it up. Sorry about that, y'all. But anyway, isn't that beautiful? Man, really pretty. They built some nice buildings back then, back in that day. All right. I think that's all the interior pictures I have. Yeah. All right. So, okay, let me go back. Close that off. And of course, this is Maxentius, the emperor, what his bust looks like. His reign was 28 October 306 to 28 October 312, for 6 years, I think. Predecessor was Constantius the first, and then his successor was Constantine the first. So they were in a civil war, which he apparently perished with a lot of his soldiers in the Tiber River. Yeah. All right. So we'll go back and look at the video again, just as a reinforcement.
The Basilica of Maxentius and Constantine, or in Italian, Basilica di Maxentio, sometimes known as the Basilica Nova, meaning New Basilica, or Basilica of Maxentius, is an ancient building in the Roman Forum in Rome, Italy. It was the largest building in the Forum. Construction began in the northern side of the Forum under the Emperor Maxentius in 308, and was completed in 312 by Constantine I after his defeat of Maxentius at the Battle of the Milvian Bridge. The building rose close to the Temple of Peace, at that time probably neglected, and the Temple of Venus in Rome, whose reconstruction was part of Maxentius' interventions. The building consisted of a central nave covered by 3 groined vaults suspended 39 meters above the floor on 4 large piers, ending in an apse at the western end containing a colossal statue of Constantine. The lateral forces of the groined vaults.
All right. That's all for the Roman Forum. So on the Table Talk podcast today, let me try to get this off. Oh, one thing, I wanted to show the map before I go to the Table Talk. So on the far lower right was the Colosseum. And if you remember, on the left side, you had the Via Sacra Road and the Via di Foria Emperelli Road on the right there. So in the Roman Forum, in that area there, in the middle would have been the Basilica of Maxentius. And, as it was large, so kind of on the remainder to today, it's like split in half there. So, yeah. All right. If you are able and would like to join us for the Table Talk, I had a really hard challenge trying to figure out what to talk about. It's kind of difficult trying to do a podcast to think day in and day out, like what you want to talk about. It's not that easy. So I thought what I would do today is kind of talk about the Super Bowl, the Chiefs won, Kansas City Chiefs. There was some controversy on that. You probably saw Travis Kelce yelling and pushing his head coach, Andy Reid. That wasn't smart or a good idea. And of course, he's also dating Taylor Swift. So thought maybe on the Table Talk today, we'll just kind of talk a little bit about that. So if you'll join us at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on the Table Talk, we'd be glad to have you. All right. So I guess I'll call it a day on the Roman Forum. And let me go back to the room, get off that. So, yeah. So I hope wherever you are on planet Earth, and hopefully you're in a peaceful area. A lot of war going on. Sad. I wish we could just all get along. It's tough. But anyway, wherever you are on planet Earth, I hope you're having a great Saturday morning. And we'll see you next Saturday at 8 o'clock on the Portal Podcast. Again, we'll be covering episode 16 of 20. So, yeah, and today at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, join us for the Table Talk. Y'all take care, my friends. We'll see you later. I salute you on coffee. Have a great day. See you later.
What you do, you into me, but I can't let it go so easily until I see what it could be eternity or just a week. But yeah, I